The train whistle cuts through the heavy, humid air of Basseterre like a blade. It is a sharp, metallic cry that signals the start of a journey through time. The St. Kitts Scenic Railway jerks forward, its iron wheels grinding against tracks laid over a century ago. You feel the vibration travel through the floorboards, a rhythmic pulse that echoes the island's industrial past. As the train clears the bustling capital, the view opens wide. The landscape transforms. Fields that once fueled the massive sugar industry stretch out on either side, vast and rolling under the sun. You watch the urban sprawl fade, replaced by the lush emerald slopes of Mount Liamuiga. The mountain looms ahead, a dormant giant rising toward the clouds. Its peak is frequently shrouded in a dense, swirling mist, a veil that keeps the secrets of the Kalinago people hidden from view. The journey into the heart of the island has begun, and the weight of history hangs heavy in the rustling leaves. The engine falls silent, leaving only the sound of your own boots hitting the damp soil. You step off the platform and leave the railway behind. The transition is absolute. The rhythmic clatter of iron on steel vanishes, replaced by the heavy, suffocating silence of the rainforest. You begin the hike toward the crater of Mount Liamuiga. The path narrows, winding through dense foliage that blocks out the sky. With every step upward, the air grows cooler, biting at your skin. The scent of damp earth, rotting leaves, and thick moss intensifies, clinging to your clothes. You push aside heavy ferns that block the trail, their leaves slick with condensation. The forest feels alive, watching. A sudden gust of wind rattles the canopy above, but the trees do not sway. You reach a clearing, but the view is gone. The mist has descended, a thick, swirling wall of white that erases the horizon. You stand at the edge of the crater, the ground beneath your feet soft and unstable. The silence is no longer just an absence of noise. It is a presence. It presses against your ears, heavy and ancient. You take one more step into the gray, the path ahead disappearing into the void. You descend from the heights, the air warming rapidly as you reach the coast. The Narrows shimmer in the distance, a 2-mile stretch of water separating the islands. You board a small, weathered boat. The engine sputters to life, cutting through the turquoise waves with a steady, vibrating hum. Salt spray hits your face, sharp and cold against the midday heat. As the boat pushes further into the strait, the island of Nevis emerges from the horizon. It rises like a perfect green cone, a sharp silhouette against the vast, open sky. The water shifts from pale blue to a deep, churning indigo as the current pulls at the hull. You reach the western shore, and the transition is jarring. The golden sand you expected is gone. Beneath your boots, the ground is stark, volcanic black. It is coarse, heavy, and absorbs the light, creating an eerie, silent contrast to the bright sea. You walk along the shoreline, the dark grit crunching underfoot with every step. This is the legacy of Nevis Peak, the dormant giant that anchors the island in shadow. You stand still, watching the waves roll in, their white foam stark against the obsidian beach. The air here feels different, heavier, charged with the cooling presence of the mountain that looms just out of sight. You leave the black sands behind and return to St. Kitts, where the environment undergoes a final, drastic transformation. The lush canopy vanishes. In its place, arid desert-like hills rise, scorched by the sun and dropping sharply into the churning Atlantic. You climb the path to Brimstone Hill Fortress. The ground is dry, crunching under your weight, and the heat radiates off the parched earth. You reach the outer perimeter. Your hands press against the stone walls, which are cold, weathered, and pitted by centuries of salt air. These walls were laid by engineers long ago, and they still hold the weight of that history. You ascend the final rampart, your breath quickening as the horizon expands. From this vantage point, the world splits in two. To the east, the deep, violent blue of the Atlantic Ocean crashes against the cliffs, sending spray high into the air. To the west, the Caribbean Sea lies calm, a lighter, tranquil turquoise that seems to hold its breath. You stand exactly where these two forces meet. The wind howls across the parapet, a constant, rushing sound that bridges the gap between the two waters. It is a moment of absolute clarity. Back in the city, the streets of Basseterre hum with a different kind of energy. You walk through Independence Square, where stone architecture marks the layers of the past. You stop at a local market stall. The vendor hands you a piece of fresh fruit. its skin cool and firm. As you speak, the melodic cadence of Kittitian Creole fills the air, a rapid, rhythmic language that blends English roots with a distinct Caribbean soul. You spend your final hours watching the sunset from the edge of the beach. The trade winds rustle the palm fronds, a soft, persistent sound that settles over the sand. The Federation, despite its small size, reveals its depth through every volcanic peak, every historical stone, and every conversation in the market. As the stars emerge over the Narrows, the story of these two islands feels complete, yet the quiet pull of the hidden trails leave you wanting to explore it all once more.